going through those days. But he had a good reason for doing it. But, speaking of these two teams, of course, starting with QsQ, actually, looking at their lineup, we're dealing with Nova, Style, Nox, Mally, and Jonas and Fan. No doubt their A-plus roster being here at DreamHack.
Yeah.
And, hey, you know what? My favorite here at DreamHack, I did a Hunt 2 weekly. We were asked who you think's going to win it all. I'm liking QsQ. Nova, man, he has the experience, to say the least.
He does have the experience. That's where we maybe vary a little bit in opinion.
I'm right. You're wrong. It's okay.
All right. Anyway, you just mentioned the roster there for QsQ. Let's go ahead and look at MRR.
Yeah.
We got Neversay, Chitawan, 07T, Dior's, and KSS. I'm just going to go KSS or KISS.
These guys, again, we really don't know much about these guys. Obviously, this match right here, we're going to get some information on what they're about. They're dealing against a great team in QsQ, but, we've heard some rumors here and there. Obviously, they've been scrimmaging like every other team out here in Yanqiao, and since they got out here a couple days ago, scrimmaging against the teams out here. Again, they look solid, but they definitely have a challenge. They definitely have a lot to prove in that sense. Now, on the note of Thailand as well, Thailand is growing, man. Thailand is huge when it comes to Heroes of New Earth as far as the player base. I mean, I want to say it's one of the most popular, if not even the most popular country out there when it comes to concurrent players on for Heroes of New Earth. So it's a big country in the sense of a population that plays the game. You got to figure that at least, MRR being the top of it, expect to see something solid from them. So excited for that, Drove.
Yeah, I think you said it pretty well. I mean, they are a part of Thailand, which is, I think, the most booming country. And I want to see what they got. I think the players want to see what they got, too, and the viewers, of course, want to see what they got. But it looks like you have given the ready, actually, as the countdown has begun.
I have, because I think we are ready to go. So are you guys ready out there? You ready to see some Heroes of New Earth? Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. They're out there making some noise. Love the crowd as always. So let's go in to game number 1 here. MRR taking on QsQ here in this 2-game series, as it always is here. Of course, this being the group stages. Group B, now actually important to note, this is QsQ's first match, actually. They have not played yet. MRR, this is their second match. They actually played TT Esports earlier. They did lose 2-0. I was looking at the stats. You mentioned they actually played Soul Stealer, and they have been playing a little bit of Soul Stealer lately, apparently. Seems to be a favorite hero of theirs. We'll see if we maybe see him this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't work out for them last time. Now, did you mention QsQ? Did they win their last?
They did not play yet.
Oh, they haven't. So this is their first match.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty fun for them.
Yeah.
The blind bands have begun, and it looks like we got Legion, Parasite, and Tempest, and Hellborn don't want to deal with Nymphora or Devourer. So Devourer's going to be a blind band coming out from Nova. So maybe they know something. He's done his homework, perhaps, and checked out. And maybe MRR just seems to be comfortable with that hero, and they want to get rid of that comfortable or that comfort zone with them.
Insomnia is actually here as well, kind of as a sixth man for QsQ, but and we've talked about this in the past. He's kind of their coach, and a great guy. Got the chance to talk to him. He was kind of going over some plans that they have for a lot of these teams. He's done the research. Obviously, the team itself does the research, but Insomnia, he's kind of that side man that also helps him with the research and whatnot. And he was making the points that they actually were able to get a little bit of information out of MRR, and one of those was about Devour. So sure enough, we do see him blind band here, as you put it, Nymphora, Devour. Very interesting, but hey, again, it's hard for us to sit here and say those are bad fans when we're dealing with a team we just really don't know much about. But the locking phase starting. Keeper of the Force, the first lock, followed up by Ophelia, and, well, look at that. Nova's signature hero lately, Voodoo Jester.
Yeah, well, it goes with one of those things. It's like, let's pick a hero that never gets played, like Nomad. But one team runs Nomad all the time. It's like, is it really worth the a merit of wanting to ban it? Maybe just because it puts them out of their comfort zone. But, I mean, I don't really think Devour's like, oh, my God, we got to ban Devour because they play it all the time. But it just might be one of those things of respect. They've done their homework. They don't want them to get a hero that they feel comfortable with. But anyway, I'm rambling on. Here comes some of the more locks. Keeper of the Force, of course, Ophelia and Voodoo Jester coming out from QsQ. And as you mentioned, QsQ Nova does love to play that Voodoo Jester. Doesn't exactly have the most burst or damage output, at least like right away, as compared to like a Luna or Glacius or something like that. But the setup stun from Voodoo is actually quite nice.
Oh, yeah. The Acid Cocktail, again, it doesn't do damage itself to at least heroes, but it stuns for a good duration, and the RNG factor, if you place it correctly, it can be very, very powerful. One of the most effective stuns in that sense. Again, if you place it correctly and RNG is in your favor. Bubbles, Warbeast, the follow-up final bans for MRR, and then Alonia, the final ban, or I'm saying bans here, locks, excuse me, the final lock from Q Squad. Now, Alonia, we got to see. I want to say it was actually by Q Squad, by style, I want to say even. Or, I know we saw it lately in the Haunter qualifiers.
Yeah, I think it was Pudge.
It might have been Pudge, actually, yeah.
I think it was Pudge.
I think you are right. Now, the reason why I bring that up, though, because I was actually told that Q Squad has actually been running a little bit of Alonia lately themselves.
Really?
So, again, we see that locked here. When we did see her in that match, I believe she was on the losing team, but she did put out a ton of burst damage, so.
Yeah, I was thinking back actually of a time where Zai played it, but that was just an in-house, so never mind. But yeah, no, that hero does crazy damage. I personally have never played her, but I have dealt with her, and she does do a lot of damage. I don't know exactly how to play her though in a competitive game. Like, do you run her as a solo? Do you run her as a solo mid? It doesn't really seem like it would fit because so many people are dual laning mid, and she would just get crushed in that sense. Do you run her as a support? Maybe, but doesn't really have a set stun. I don't think. I don't know. I don't really know that hero that well, but it's games like this where we might be actually able to see her in action and see what she can do. But bands coming out: Magnus, Rowley, Tremble actually banned out from Never Say, and then there's the band coming out from Nova. It's Wild Soul. 2 more bands to go.
You kind of passed over that one, not really thinking too much about it, but Rowley, I mean, what?
Wait a second.
Banning Rowley. Yeah, this isn't Beacon over here. This is a Complexity. No, Beacon has been playing a bit of Rowley lately, actually, but MRR. But again, it goes back to the research. Clearly, you don't just ban a hero like that without getting some information beforehand. So with the Devour blind ban, even Amphora, you got the Rowley ban here. I'm sure Wild Soul's not too crazy by any means, but the Rowley's definitely standing out. And Jerizaiah is actually the final ban. Honestly, again, that's not necessarily an odd ban, but lately we have not seen Jerizaiah banned, actually. We've seen him left open. So another case you can say of Q Squad, maybe taking that into consideration, banning Jerizaiah here. First pick Glacius right off the bat, though.
Yeah, I would say that if you're – I think most people would actually favor QsQ to win this matchup. And that being said, I think Jerizaiah is the last hero you want to play against and get cheesed on, honestly.
Yeah.
So I can understand that ban. But, yeah, Glacius first picked up by Never Say. And you can't go wrong, honestly, with a first pick Glacius. You really can't. Very strong laning support. Has a lot of control, at least early on. Can't really spam out as well as a Luna if you're comparing those two. But it's also good when you have Ophelia on the board in that lockpick pool. That kind of deters the other team from picking them up, so to speak, just a little bit.
Yeah. How about that? Bombardier actually picked up from Q Squad as well, on top of Alonia, or not Alonia, I wish. Aluna picked up. So speaking of Glacius being a go-to support, Aluna another go-to support, of course, and picked up by Q Squad. But yeah, Bombardier picked up. Again, he's not a hero we get to see too often. But again, it goes back to, I want to say we have seen Q Squad run this lately themselves. So he just feels like a niche hero, not a hero that we see all the time by any means, but we have seen him dabble. And he has his potential, great laner, that's for sure, and his global presence with his ultimate can be very powerful. But don't see it too often here.
I mean, it's a very strong hero. His ultimate is amazingly strong. It's really, really strong. Always having a global ultimate is nice. There's Mirax's Silhouette Glacius already for MRR. I got to say, their lineup is looking pretty scary already. But talking a little bit more about Bomb, he was very popular a long time ago when we had like Tempest and Kraken all the time pick, and just synergized so well with that. If you have some kind of point stun or hold ability or channeled hold ability like that on your team, it does increase the effectiveness of Bombardier, but if he gets a straight-up 1v1 matchup at mid, it's fine, and he's actually very strong. But with so many teams dueling in mid, I don't know if he's exactly the best hero. But he certainly can do quite a lot. And there's a Dark Lady pickup for Nox, probably going to be playing that.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Dark Lady, of course, Nox, a fan favorite, loves that hero as he's just a great carry player in general. But look at that. I mean, MRR going with the first lock pick. They pick very quickly Keeper, but how about Nova responds very quickly himself? Bubbles Ophelia. And now it's back to MRR to choose one of these 3 heroes. There's going to be Warbeast, actually. And, yeah, I mean, this lineup, it's pretty powerful, actually. Looks pretty strong. I
mean, both lineups actually look really strong. I think especially MRR's look strong. If they do run that Keeper Suicide, which it seems obvious picking up a Warbeast, he's going to have a pretty decent time. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but he's going to have a decent time. Mid lane, I expect it to be perhaps a Glacius Miraxis and then have a solo short Silhouette against the Bubbles, probably. But QsQ could switch it up and maybe even go, like, it's not out of the question to have an aggressive tri-lane even with a Dark Lady because you can have Ophelia do it.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, Glacius can kind of maybe screw with that if he does go between mid and bottom, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see what they do. Probably going to see Jonasafan go the suicide role just because he always does and he's playing that Bubbles.
Yeah.
And Silhouette will do just fine down there. Warbeast should have, well, actually, if Ophelia decides to try to screw him up, which she probably should do, Warbeast will have a fine time. But then you have the response from Glacius. Glacius probably help out Warbeast as well. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, honestly. I think both teams have drafted very, very strong heroes.
Yeah, you know, that was the first question that, you know, of course, that we asked when we heard about Team MRR going to be here at DreamHack, a team from Thailand. What are we gonna see out of them as far as their picks go? Because it seems like, you know, a lot of these Southeast Asian teams, really, you know, these teams that don't normally play with your North American European crowd, their quote-unquote metagame might be a little bit different. Their hero picks might be a little bit different because of that. But again, you look at this lineup over here on the Legion side. This is an everyday lineup nowadays in the competitive scene. So it's clear that they've been doing their research, and you got to give them credit for that, and showing that they definitely know what they're doing. So a couple players reconnecting here. Going to be getting unpaused hopefully shortly, but yeah, so big thing to bring up there, and can't wait to see how they play it.
I mean, I think that's an understatement, honestly. I think the fact that they got this lineup is pretty crazy. I think anyone would be happy with that in the NAEU scene. So yeah, I agree with you. I think they've done their homework. They understand what the other teams are doing, what works for them, and what works in general, and very strong lineup in general.
Oh, hopefully once we get an answer out of MRR, our Legion team from Thailand, we'll go ahead and get things going on here. Speaking of that, being all the way from Thailand, I mean, a lot of these teams obviously have to travel very far, but I think they may have had to travel the furthest. I mean, that's literally on the other side of the world pretty much, so I'm sure that was not the most fun travel. Kind of makes me chuckle a little bit that a lot of ours, you know, we were complaining a little bit coming over from the States, how far we had to come, which I don't know, 7.5 hours. Oh, gosh, that's ridiculous, yeah. I'm sure theirs was quite a bit longer. But anyways, it's good for them to be here, and at least from, you know, again, talking with them yesterday and whatnot, it sounds like they're excited to be here and ready to try to make a statement as far as a lot of people, including ourselves, you know, again, just don't really know what to expect of them. They're here to show us, so we'll see. As far as things starting up here, we actually have Glacius all the way up here. I was trying to place a word of sight, but not going to happen. The Hellhound actually scouted out the Hellborn team, so Glacius not going to be able to get that off.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Usually you just see the Glacius give it to the tree or whoever's in that suicide lane. They run up there as fast as they can with boots, sell them or whatever, something like that. And but yeah, Glacius, it looks like they're not going to be able to ward that. So good job by QsQ running up there and protecting their pull. It is going to be, it looks like a suicide bubble, so taking the more standard route. Bombardier probably soloing mid. Might see some transition if there is a Glacius Moraxis mid, which it looks like there might be. Silhouette, obviously at short lane, has those short lane items with the forward minor totems, 6 runes of the Blight, and that Guardian Ring to top it all off.
We see the Hellhounds up here as well as the Tree Dogs. Look at all the distraction going on this top lane. Ophelia's beating on the Hellhounds. We got one Tree Dog over here. We got another Tree Dog over here. Really keeping them occupied. There's the Hellhounds pulling the creep. They're going to pass out right there, but in the end, you know, that was a decent amount of pull time. Probably is going to, and in fact, the animated trees are still here, so even they're going to be able to aggro the creep wave and maybe keep things a little bit more delayed. Or are they actually? Yeah, Luna's doing a good job of is going to try to deny it himself. Oh, that'd be pretty epic. Does not. But actually, there's a creep wave, there's a power throw, and down goes the other one. Well, we see the creep right here. It's going to go all the way to the tower, and pending Nox keeps it back. It looks like he is. So in the end, that's not going to work out too badly for QsQ.
I'm pretty sure, as Luna is using that spam to get that last hit, I'm pretty sure that the trees went away right before she spammed
Oh,
it.
she didn't even get it.
Yeah. Using the Tree Dogs yet again to get more lane positioning. So that's the beauty of a Suicide Keeper or any kind of Suicide Hero that has that ability, like Wild Soul. We saw Wild Soul picked up a number of times already.
Yeah, very smart strategy, and of course, taking advantages, never say here, of Keeper of the Forest and the power that he brings. So middle matchup, Moraxis against a Bombardier. Right now, Glacius is actually all the way to the bottom lane. I wasn't paying attention whether or not he fully started down here, but he at least roamed down here. Bubbles down, a lot of trouble. Jonas taking a lot of damage, actually. Will Shelter poured out, but holy crap. I mean, Silhouette versus Bubbles alone, that's pretty powerful. But you had a Glacius with a freeze on top of that. Bubbles lucky to even get away with his life. But Glacius, for that matter, Dior's here, doing some pretty good roam early on.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious about this ward, too. Oh, he didn't really stack it or pull it. That's unfortunate. He could have actually just stacked that pull and then got some, farm and experience that way, because there is a ward down here, like, if you see this placed by Jonas fan around where Glacius is, and just to spot him out. Kind of interesting about that. But, yeah, I was expecting the Glacius Moraxis lane to be mid. We see this dual lane Moraxis all the time, and it's very strong. It's especially strong with Glacius because it can set up from so far away with the slow, and then finally the freeze. And then Moraxis just comes in with the Axis, slows him some more, does his thing, and especially against a bomb that has no escape mechanism at all, and is relatively squishy because he is an int hero. I feel like that would be a pristine dual lane mid, but wants to put the pressure on the Bubbles bottom. But, Yeah, like I said, the Silhouette versus Bubbles, Silhouette should already have the advantage naturally in his short lane. Just better animation, better damage with that relentless salvo. So
look at Moraxis right here. The sticky bomb's going to go off. Actually, Ophelia coming in, being played by Mally, of course, puts a Catman champion nuke out. Not going to get the kill, but extra harassment even on top of Moraxis right there. We do see Bubbles actually picking up that double damage unit, pointing back to safety to the tower. So well played by Jonathan Fan there, playing that suicide role, as usual, of course, for Q Squad. But Moraxis is able to survive. He's going to go back to base right now, and probably will just port back to middle lane as soon as possible. But in the meantime, Bombardier, that is going to free up a lot of time if he wasn't already to get some very, very good farm. He's right now 12-4 creep score, currently farming around 274 gold per minute, actually. Is up there with the best of them, both that Dark Lady and that Silhouette. You see right there, though, the courier is still walking. I never get this. At this level especially, to see a walking courier 3 minutes into the game even.
Yeah.
I always find that, especially since he got his bottle delivered to him that way, his bottle was delivered on the ground courier.
I guess the only thing, too, with that is just the fact that your real only main support is Glacius. You have 2 junglers. Keeper of the Forest is going to need a little bit of farm himself. You don't want to give it that much. So I think the thinking is just, simply you don't have that much farm or gold on all your other heroes to do it. But it is annoying, especially playing as a jungler like Warbeast, that you don't have that flying courier. But but it is up now. So
Oh, did they up it? Okay, they did. Thank you.
He listened to you, actually.
Thank you, guys.
He just spent the gold on it.
Of course. We see Moraxis right there actually using his Arcane Shield, maybe expecting some Boom Dust or something to come out from Bombardier. The Sticky Bomb was already applied. It's going to go off right there, so Moraxis will survive. But again, Bombardier has a pretty strong laning presence, as we talked about. He's kind of showing that off here. That level 3 Sticky Bomb, a lot of harassment on Moraxis. He can't really get too close. And it seems like Stalin knows what he's doing when it comes to landing those. He's going to be delivered his boots, actually. And now how's that? Look at the bottom rune. It's going to be a race to it. Bubbles, it looks like he's going to get the other just a little bit too early. And now Moraxis is actually in a lot of trouble. Socket the Sea not going to be enough for the kill. Cheetahwan here is on the run, and it looks like he is going to be fine. But again, Moraxis is taking a lot of harassment this game.
Yeah.
He can't seem to have the greatest time here in the middle lane.
I just don't know what Glacius is trying to accomplish. I mean, he's getting these pulls off, and that's all fine and dandy, but they could have been crushing this. They could have been crushing mid lane and at the same time having Silhouette crush bottom lane just as hard, just on her own. So I really don't understand that. I just think he would have been in a much better position just doing all the damage to bomb mid. At the same time, Moraxis would have got complete free farm in mid. And that's a hero you really want. It's similar to Pebbles. I talk about this all the time. When you have a Pebbles on your team, you want to make sure that above all, he gets the farm. If you have a hard carry on your team, they can pick up the farm and then pick up the slack later. But the same thing kind of goes for this Moraxis.
Well, it's unfortunately not working out too well in that sense then for our team MR. Now, something that is working out fairly well here is this Silhouette being played by 07T. I mean, he's farming, what is this creep farm at? 25 and 8, not too bad. But you do compare it to the Dark Lady, who's actually at 34 and 11. And that, no doubt, is in favor of Nox big time, playing this Dark Lady here for Q Squad. So even that right now for Team MRR isn't the best of news. And it's still very early on, of course, only 5.5 minutes in. But they are off to the slower start here. And in fact, a gank attempt even coming to the bottom lane. We haven't had a Bloodlust kill just yet. We could possibly be seeing one here in the near future. Of course, Ophelia with the Skeleton King actually going to take over a Minotaur right there that she just so happens to find. So good timing for that. Glacius level 2 just hugging the tower, hoping that nothing happens to him. Silhouette is level 6. I mean, she does have a tree grapple. I think she should be fine, but they're going to wait down here.
Yeah, we have to wait and see. The stun is up for the Minotaur. Luna's not exactly the best ganker in the world, but they know something's up, and as a result, regardless, even if Silhouette doesn't get ganked here or die, she's not getting the farm that she needs. And even just before this, the fact that you mentioned she had 31, well, now she has 31 CS, but Dark Lady is definitely exceeding that 41 and still has to deal with all of that annoying pulling that Keeper of the Forest is doing up there.
Yeah, so we do see Ophelia kind of falling back towards the middle. May actually run into Warbeast right here. Remember Warbeast, I can't forget about him actually. He's been doing his own thing in the jungle here, but he is going to be maybe running into them. Still don't know if they're going to commit. Just actually Haste Room coming in here for Bombardier. They know that he's here. The power though missing Warbeast though. And Warbeast will be able to run away in time, but there's the hasted Bombardier putting the auto attacks on him. Moraxis is going to try to land a sticky bomb here, perhaps. It's a sticky bomb. There's the Arcane Shield, and well played by Style right there not to apply Boom Dust, maybe even expecting that. Out comes a little bit of Boom Dust. There's the explosion, and there's the final auto attack to finish off Moraxis. So he had a Matrix to use, but decided not to use it right there. So yeah, Bloodlust kill coming out in favor of Q Squad right there. Well played by Style.
Yeah, I feel like he should have just even tried to use it because, I mean, you could argue Bombardier could have ulted him and maybe done enough damage anyway, but then you would have wasted Bomb's ulti. So yeah, kind of interesting decision right there, but nonetheless, good job by Style on Bombardier, and then the good snipe actually from Nova to just dwindle him down just a little bit more to get a very easy pickup.
Yeah. Yeah, so now Bombardier, that's very important to bring up, though. Of course, he still has that global ultimate presence. And,
yeah.
The Legion side and MRR needs to be careful for that. Now, they are pushing the bottom lane in the meantime. You, of course, have the Hellhounds running Warbeast. Bubble's doing some harassment with that Shellstar, pushing it back a little bit. But this tower is dropping. It is dropping fairly quickly. Ophelia is heading over, though, with her Minotaur. It's going to be close. Tree Copper right there. Wow. Nice snipe right there coming out from Silhouette. But now Warbeast in a little bit of trouble. In comes the port from Bombardier. And vulnerability use. There's the Aluna stun. Silhouette it dodges a sticky bomb as I'm trying to turn this around. Maybe at least on Aluna. There's a tower kill, actually. It will go in favor of the team from Thailand. But now Warbeast, he's in a lot of trouble. And there's the Boom Dust, another auto attack. Boom Dust, oh, not even mattered. There's the taunt. And smackdown kill coming out for Style again.
Yeah, in the meantime, it looks like he was microing his minions there, and Nova actually got picked off beforehand.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, he wasn't in range for the experience, but still making the best out of a bad situation for Kiss.
Yeah, totally missed that. Yeah, that was actually very well played then by KSS, or Kiss, as you want to call him.
Yeah.
Right there. So, yeah, excellent job on his part. How is Keeper doing, by the way, up here? He's farming about 200 gold per minute. So not too bad. I mean, he's only level 4, though. Really not getting anything in terms of levels. That surprised me a little bit. I mean, usually Keeper the Forest has a tendency to at least hit decent levels because of that Nature's Veil. But he's 3 levels under this Dark Lady, actually. So
yeah, we'll see what's happening. I've seen him do this a number of times. He just keeps pulling it, but the wave just keeps coming back to the other wave.
Yeah.
And it's not really doing anything. And unfortunately, that's where he's putting all his time and effort. He actually does have a Ring of Sorcery, so that's not too bad. But when the other laning support left so early, I think it was actually, pardon that thought, because Mirax is coming up here with an Invis Rune, but it looks like they got word from somebody or knew something was up, and Dark Lady is playing back as a result. But when Aluna left earlier, I feel like Keeper could have just stood up there and started fighting him one-on-one, and it could have done just well with that hatchet.
Yeah.
Because he does have high base damage, 81 plus hatchet, so it's doing a lot of damage for last hits.
We do see at this top lane the invisible Miraxis. He's going to come in with the flank, but Glacius being jumped first. He's going to fall. Miraxis still hasn't opened, actually.
Yeah.
Is he going to finally open? They do not have a keeper. Oh, he's going to be spotted now as a result of a revelation. In comes the tornado actually coming out from Ophelia's Vulture Lord, and now actually Miraxis comes out, but Aluna going to be able to dodge it will be fine. So Miraxis spent a lot of time right there thinking about it. Never decided to open, though. And QsQ just kind of ran them over as a result. So, yeah, very interesting decision, or lack thereof for that matter, coming out from Miraxis. But now we have, again, Silhouette and Warbeast. They are continuing to push this bottom lane, but Style is here to kind of hold it off the best that he can, and he can actually do that pretty effectively with his abilities. So
yeah, he can spam out things actually quite nicely, and he's getting some levels. He's got the Ghost Marchers as well as that Grave Locket, so pretty standard build, I would assume, for Bombardier. But you got everything going for you. You're banging on all cylinders with QsQ. You have Aluna. She's only level 4, but you got the farm where you need it. Dark Lady, 440 gold per minute just about. Bombardier has the levels, has the farm. Suicide Bubble is not exactly having the best day, but, I mean, that's expected.
Yeah, it's, again, that's called the Suicide Rule for a reason. Level 6, Keeper of the Forest, so obviously have that route to work with. You mentioned earlier he's had that Ring of Sorcery now for a little bit, but not really doing too much as far as taking full advantage of it. In the middle lane, Matrix going to be activated by Miraxis right there. One more auto attack, probably going to do him. He stutter steps a little bit. Going to survive, though. Will be fine. And now Bombardier is actually in a little bit of trouble. Silhouette off to the side. Can Style somehow escape this? In comes a tree grab. A great land right there coming out from 07T. And down goes Style. So another kill coming out for Team MRR. And Silhouette on top of that, getting credit for it. So her GPM, I mean, 345 gold per minute.
Yep.
Continuing to not be too bad, but you keep on looking at that. Nox playing the Dark Lady, and that is up there. 422 gold per minute herself. Looking very good. Keeper of the Forest needs to be very careful here. He's trying to be crafty, but there's a couple of Revelation Wards nearby. So actually, the only ones the opponents, but still.
Yep. He is level 6, though, and that Keeper Ultimate is going to be very good for actually all the members on his team. Miraxis, well, specifically Warbeast, being able to hit all those heroes as they are rooted.
Yeah.
Silhouette goes for an early Whispering Helm. We do see this from time to time. Actually, relatively recently, that seems to be the popular build.
Yeah, we do see. You mentioned Silhouette's with 07T there. Of course, Slicks is definitely something that comes to mind. So somebody that would definitely do that. But what that does is it definitely commits to more of a I'm going to sit back in farming style of game for sure. So we do see the Legion team, though, everyone but no, actually Silhouette is here. The only player not here is middle. Who is that? That is Warbeast. He's actually pushing the middle end in the meantime. So 4 players are here, though, from Team MRR. We'll see if and how QsQ decides to defend this. Dark Lady's here for now. She's actually getting very close to finishing a Rune Cleaver. Bombardier doing some stacking in the meantime, or at least attempting to. Not gonna fully be able to do it right there, but Team MRR, you can tell they really want to set something up. In fact, they may get something on a Bombardier over here. Morax is slamming an X. There's the Matrix used offensively. Tree Grapple coming out. There's the Quake Stun, and now Bombardier is going to start falling to the ground. The nice heal coming out from Ophelia, though, isn't going to be the difference maker. Another Axe missing. Silhouette gets another auto attack, but now Silhouette's in a lot of trouble actually from Dark Lady chasing her down, and it looks like Silhouette. No, Glacius going to come in and save Silhouette for now. Out comes the Death Lotus. Keeper of the Force coming in with the regen and going to keep her alive. Meanwhile, down here, we do see actually Glacius gets picked off by Dark Lady, and Bombardier, yeah, he survived when it's all said and done. So in the end, only the one kill happened, and it was in favor of QsQ. Now, they did get a Legion tower kill, as Warbeast was pushing the middle lane, so.
Yeah, that's good for him, but, did you miss something?
Yeah, no, never mind. That was from earlier.
Well, some good juking coming out from Bombardier. The bottom tower does go down. The ports come out. Actually, that's just from Warbeast, who is going for, of course, the early Abyssal Skull along with those Steam Boots. But some good juking coming out from Bombardier, and you're able to do that with the Ghost Marchers. If there's a reason to get Ghost Marchers, it is good for juking those Miraculous Axes.
Yeah.
Miraculous Axes. Yep, that's fun to say.
I hate that ability name. Oh, top lane, we see one kill happening, two kills happening as Silhouette and Keeper of the Force, they both get picked up. Caught the tail end of that, but Kelfield coming out from Bubbles. And obviously Bombardier following with an airstrike, and then Dark Lady in the midst of it all. Wasn't going to end pretty right there for Team MRR. And I believe Dark Lady, yeah, she has her second broadsword on the way. So we're going to basically see just under a 14-minute Rune Cleaver here on top of Ghost Marchers and a Ring of the Teacher already picked up by Nox here for QsQ. So MRR definitely has their work cut out for them here early on. Now they're going to apply a lot of pressure to the secondary tower at the bottom, but is it going to pay off? We see the Skeleton King coming in with the trap on a Warbeast, activates the ultimate, trying to run away, and it looks like, oh, he keeps going back in. He wants that tower kill, man, with the Beast, but it ain't going to happen. He was trying to keep the Hellhounds close enough, but they eventually get killed, and it's denied by QsQ in the end. So
yeah, he had a good idea, just couldn't execute it, unfortunately. And in the meantime, that's just going to be, I mean, you do lose the map control, of course, from the tower deny. But, actually a port coming out top. They do want to defend this, and they do have actually a huge push coming. Keeper, of course, his ultimate is up and ready to go, but good anti-push between Bubbles and Aluna makes it a little bit more difficult to get that push down.
Oh, it's going to be so close. Of course, the vulnerability is down. Oh, nice deny from Jonas and Fan right there. Keeper the Force running in. He's going to try to root. No, he will not. He decided it's his best to cancel it and save it for a later time. Very well executed right there. Especially from Jonas and Fan again on the Bubbles, actually denying the tower. So you said it though. I mean, sure. So that's a couple of denies now in favor of QsQ. However, the towers are still dead, and those are 4 towers gone, especially at the bottom lane with the 2 towers being taken out, and that does affect your positioning in the sense of lack of places to port to, lack of vision in general. So that is the positive news again for MRR, but it continues to be bad news in the sense of Dark Lady, man. She is really taking off now. She is nearly 500 gold per minute already. We are just passing the 15-minute mark now, but this is exactly what Dark Lady, specifically Nox on Dark Lady, does against many teams, and MRR is no difference in that case.
The thing about Dark Lady, too, is you can actually get a lot of pickoffs with that hero. Like if you compare him to Silhouette, for instance, Silhouette, if he does go, at least not this time, but if Silhouette does go with a typical like Null Stone into Portal Key, you can't really gank until you get Portal Key. Like you can't really be that effective with your team or in team fights or gank. And so, but that's not true with Dark Lady. You can actually do a lot as far as ganking with Dark Lady early on, more than you would think.
Yeah, we see the bottom lane Warbeast. Yes, he's going to be able to port out right there. That was actually really close. He was being chased down. Speaking of Dark Lady, was assisted by Ophelia and Bombardier right there, but he survives and is going to go back to continue to farm. And speaking of that, I mean, obviously the Abyssal Skull picked up. He actually picks up a Neophyte's book, so that is leaning towards the direction most likely of a puzzle box to be picked up, which just so happens we've had back-to-back Warbeast games now from different teams, and obviously the previous game we also saw a puzzle box. Granted, we saw a Whispering Helm even on top of that.
Yeah.
But he went the safer route in Abyssal Skull, to say the least. So, but puzzle box, you even said that game though, it still can be a great item. So, nothing too wrong there.
Well, it was great that game because it was against the Legionnaire specifically. But
gotcha.
Oh, we have some action on mid.
Maybe. They're porting in from Bubbles, but no initiation from either team. And actually, Keeper of the Force, he's going to try to port out to the bottom lane because we see the target on a nice roof on Keeper of the Force. Catches both Bombardier and Ophelia. Will be able to finish him off. Bombardier with the arrow strike, but Bombardier will fall first. Ophelia is trying to turn this around on Dior's playing that Glacius. The final auto attack and Wogoff gets the kill, but Ophelia falls shortly after, and now the minions are most likely going to be picked off. So Warbeast, he does end up getting picked off himself, actually, as he got caught in the middle lane. So especially on top of the tower kill, I think it's safe to say our Hellborn team and Q Squad coming out on top there, and now even pushing the secondary tower in the middle lane. They're going to need to get a reaction out of MRR here quickly. And that's just going to give Bubbles a little bit more farm, especially if they get the tower in an early portal key onto Bubbles like this. Is going to be fantastic for them. You do have a portal key up on Meraxis, so if they want that initiation, they're going to have it on top of it. If they do get a portal key on Keeper of the Force as well, which can synergize quite nicely. But nope, he's going to get a little bit more tankying by some Plated Greaves as well as an Astrolabe. So there you go. Yeah, that's that definitely helps there, obviously. So Ophelia doing work there. Of course, being played by Mally, great jungler player himself. We talk a lot about jungler, Chessie and Z-Freak. But
look at Ophelia's and Keeper's items are identical right now.
They are identical, yes.
Except Ophelia doesn't have a hatchet. What a noob.
That would be, seriously, noob status here. That's just on the range, yo. Bubbles level 11, actually. Bubbles, I'm guessing, he's actually very close to Portal Key. In fact, if he cleans up this Minotaur and Gotar here, he'll be able to pick it up. It's going to be pretty close. I think it's going to be just shy, actually. But he finishes him off, just shy, so we'll need to kill one more creep. Then be able to go to the side shop or somewhere else to pick up that portal key. So as always, a very important pickup for the team, in this case Q Squad, but still MRR, again, you keep looking back at Silhouette and her success, and also Warbeast for that matter, really as a team. I mean, it's not going the greatest, but it's not doing poorly either. I mean, Glacius, sure, he's not farming well, that's what we expected. But all the way from Meraxis, Keeper, Warbeast, and Silhouette, they all have very similar farm, sitting around that 300 or so GPM mark. So, you can see that as both a good and bad, I guess. But I think that's some decent news there for MRR. And you look at the overall golden experience, it's about a 3,000 for both, so solid lead here for Q Squad. Nothing too overwhelming, though. But look at Darklady. Darklady very confident, but Nox maybe a little bit too confident right here. Here's a support coming out, and Nox will fall. What was he thinking right there? Wow. He just dove into, suicidal place.
He was just way too far up, and this is about the time. I mean, Meraxis wasn't farming that well, but this is about the time when you should expect some blinks on certain heroes. And even if there wasn't a blink on Meraxis, you're playing way too far up. So that's an unfortunate kill there on Nox. They do get the tower in mid. He is down for another 30 seconds. They might do some counter pushing of their own in the mid lane, but they actually closed the gap in experience. Look at that, 1,700 before it was 3,000.
Yeah, and they're getting this tower kill easily. I mean, that's going to be now 5 towers down in their favor, so not bad at all. Again, a couple of those sure being denied, but the fact that they're still dead is what matters. On the top lane, as you put it, that was pushed in by Ophelia. But I still am a little bit baffled of what Nox was thinking there. We praise him a lot, especially going into this event, of being a great carry player. Seems to always make great decisions. That was definitely not one of them. That was just a pretty silly decision right there, and it clearly paid off actually for MRR. You got to give credit to them, of course. Taking advantage of those situations, you got to do that against the best of the best, such as Q Squad. So. The golden experience, sure, still in favor of Q Squad, but it is even less than when we mentioned it earlier, and not overwhelming by any means. In fact, very minimal. So they're going to fall back themselves, continue to farm up, and as I stated earlier, I mean, as a team, they're honestly doing pretty damn well. It's just that Darklady over here on the Hellborn state and Nox, who just made that mistake, he still is in a very good spot despite that death himself. So.
Well, here's one of the problems, too, when you get this matchup of Silhouette versus Darklady, is right now Silhouette, I think, is looking towards to build that Shrunken Head. And that's fine. You're going to need it against this team. They have a lot of magic damage. They have things that can keep you down, lock down, the silence, especially from Darklady. But you're not going to be farming nearly as fast. You do have a farming tool in Whispering Helm. That's good, too. But you're not going to have the damage output, I feel like, to compete with the Darklady. Yeah. So it's just one of those things. This is why when you see this matchup, Darklady versus Silhouette, Darklady just seems to thrive just a little bit more.
Yeah. That's great, yeah. So Keeper of the Forest, level 11 right here. He's actually continuing to farm in the jungle. 1,400 gold saved up. Going to join the bottom lane, actually. Again, there's no towers down here other than the base, so probably not going to push it too far, but make a couple of creep kills out of it, then fall back. Darklady Firebrand has been finished. In fact, she's at the Legion Agents right now, so even despite that death earlier, getting overconfident and jumping one of the Legion players she thought was alone, she's still not too worried to go past the river even and farm over there. So Firebrand just delivered, so good for her. And continuing to look better and better to the Legion side, specifically Keeper of the Force. He is trying to do his best to push back these lanes here. Back in their favor. Blocks purchase coming out from Warbeast, and also an Arcana purchase on Meraxis. So again, all around, it really is starting to add up pretty solid here. On the Legion side, you got to figure Portal Key on Keeper of the Force is also in the works. Congor is being attempted, by the way.
Yeah, you know, Portal Key on Keeper would just be fantastic for their team. But yeah, Congor is being attempted right by QsQ, and I don't know, it's kind of risky, honestly. I've seen more games than not thrown, or at least, you know, turn the tides out of Congor, but it's getting close.
Here we go, more access, jumps in on a Darklady dropping pretty quickly already. Already down to half-life, but there's an airstrike coming out. Are we going to see Root coming out for Game of the Forest? Not going to be used instead. There we go, finally coming out. And look at the damage from Silhouette on top of that. Ophelia's going to fall as well, locking down Silhouette. No, she stays alive actually for now, but there's that swap from Silhouette. Gonna survive. Moraxis is chasing, but it's not gonna be enough. And Chidawan here on Moraxis will fall when it's all said and done. Bubbles is chasing, trying to shell surf snipe on his Silhouette, but that is not gonna happen. And Keeper the Forest will also survive. So yeah, we saw a great damage output for sure from Silhouette. But in the end, QsQ actually coming out on top of that fight, and they get the tower kill on top of it as well.
Man, Warbeast was so close to getting away, but really good job by Jonas. Man, he's been playing fantastically in the last couple of weeks we've seen him. Got to give him a lot of credit, but nice snipe with the last hit auto attack there onto Warbeast. I thought for sure he was going to get away, but Jonas Van, really great presence of mind, as you would say. Yeah. I got to go back to that, but yeah, I got to give him props. He's been looking really fantastic in the last couple of weeks. But they will get Congor, and that's good for them. Obviously, Darklady picking that up, and she has got a lot of farm to save at least.
Yeah. What is it up now? 575 gold per minute, really, for Nox. That's a very scary number. Glowstone also picked up actually on Bombardier, so Staff of the Master wouldn't put it past picking it up on Bombardier. It's a pretty solid boost effect for him. So we'll see if that's an option, or as we do see in the past, getting a Glowstone simply for the stats, and then going from there. Hell, even the new sacrificial, or not that, but Icon of the Goddess. I'd be surprised with.
I don't know. I don't like Staff of the Master on him at all, especially in this matchup. I think if you're trying to boost up your ultimate, and that's really all you buy, you don't really want to buy it for stats. If you're buying something for stats, you buy something else, like Shrunken Head or whatnot. Or Shrunken Head at least to make you survive a little bit. But if you're trying to up your damage on your ultimate, who are you really gonna who's that really gonna be effective against? Maybe Glacius, maybe Silhouette, but Silhouette's on the workings to a Shrunken Head, as she should be. Miraculous is too tanky. Your airstrike's probably not going to be hitting Warbeast because he has that ultimate. And then, of course, Keep the Forest, he's tanky as well. So I would have liked to see a CC item, something like Hellflower or Sheepstick.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's just my opinion.
Oh, we'll see where he goes. Darkhood again cleaning up the Legion Ancient. I mean, this is why he just always has such high GPM. He gets farm in every single place. The Legion side, the Hellborn side, in the jungle, wherever it may be, he'll find it. And he is now really sitting on a 600 gold per minute mark by now. So, of course, he does have the Token of Life once again. And it may actually jump Silhouette right here. Look at Silhouette dropping quickly. Activates a Shrunken Head just to save herself against a solo Darklady.
Yep.
That goes back to what you said earlier, though. We saw a prime example of it right there. I mean, she will just tear up Silhouette.
Oh, yeah. She just does massive amounts of damage. I want to watch her when she has those dark. Oh, she does MRR activated? No, it's plus 80% damage, base damage. And on top of the damage boost, you get 15% from Abyssal Skull. It's ridiculous. She just bursted through anybody. I bet that was Miraxis. She could burst just as fast through him as well if he doesn't get the ultimate off, which he can't because, hey, he's silenced. So.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, Darklady, as usual, again, especially in the hands of Nox, really getting to that threatening point. Being very, very scary to deal against. Bombardier, again, really as a team here. They're in the Legion jungle, just kind of farming it out. Ophelia's minions right now, double Skeleton King and a Catman. In fact, has a chance to get a Minotaur, but is going to pass it up instead of kill it for some farm. Down here, actually, Bubble's getting caught by a couple of axes. He's going to shell serve away. Speaking of Sacrificial Stone, he actually has one himself.
Yeah.
But he's going to Portal Key away before too much else happens. So, an attempt right there from MRR to maybe get a catch on the Q Squad. Not going to come through, though. And QsQ will now start to reset some things and then eventually make it look something happen. But, yeah, I mean, already using a cooldown on that Shrunken Head for Silhouette is huge right there. Oh, yeah, look at Darklady tearing up Warbeast. Actually, he has ulti for him, but he can't get off. There we go. Oh, the airstrike going to miss. And KSS may actually survive. I believe he's going to for now. He's going to try to port out. Yes, he will be fine. Yeah, what a getaway right there. Oh, jeez. I mean, again, you saw the damage of Darklady, but he somehow dodged that airstrike. Barely got away.
There was a couple of really interesting things. One, I think that Male could have at least checked right there. Unfortunately, he got a little bit juked, but he actually blocked himself with the Puzzle Vok minions in that little area of the trees. He doesn't have Ghost March or anything like that, so that was really bad for him. He almost killed himself, basically.
Yeah. Oops. Well, he's back at base now, of course, regen and ready to fight for the team, and they may need him right here. Although Bombardier is actually porting out to the top lane because Cube the Force was pushing it up here.
Ooh.
As the tower is dropping quickly, but back to the middle lane though. We do see initiative coming out from the Legion team. They know they have numbers advantage. Cube the Force ports in with the root, and Ophelia being locked in as well as Dark Lady. Dark Lady will fall. Of course, going to come back up with the token alive, but what will they commit right here? Dark Lady is going to be fine in the end, it looks like. They really want to kill this Ophelia. They finally do. It took forever, and now Dark Lady will be able to run away, or will she? Great stun coming out for 2-1 right there. In comes Warbeast. A better stun from Aluna, though, and that might stall them just enough to be fine. The axe, just going to barely miss right there, just at a range. And now Aluna, actually, though, she's going to be the victim here as Nova. Or will she? Actually, a great deja vu. Going to be fine for now. And Nova will survive. Wow, I thought for sure he was going to die, but he somehow gets away. Bubble's also in the background. He ports away and going to go back to base. So that could have been a lot uglier for Q Squad. It wasn't that bad, though.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to this Legion team. I mean, it seems like it's just getting out of hand, especially for QsQ. I mean, so much farm on Dark Lady, but they're staying in it, and I think it just goes back to the drafting and what they have as far as the team goes. I mean, Keeper of the Forest, very strong team fight presence. Miraxis, really strong team fight presence. And actually, Silhouette's, okay, actually, she's not farming that much. It seems like she was getting a little bit up there, but no, still just sitting on that Shrunken Head and that Whispering Helm. So if she's able to get up her farm just a bit, then they might be okay. It's not crazy by any means just yet. It's 76 gold, 43 experience, so.
It is Dark Lady, though. Holy crap. Dark Lady, 600 gold per minute again, still sitting at that point. What did she just buy, by the way? It is that Shrunken Head, so yeah, going to be delivered to her right now. Very, very good. We do see her actually at the top lane, going to clear that out and continue to farm even more, maybe even pressure this tower. This is the last tower, actually, for the Legion team. So, yeah, we talked a lot about it earlier. I mean, MRR seemed like they were doing some nice tower pushing themselves, but Q Squad getting close to taking out the 6th and final outer tower here. As I very likely see this fall down. I mean, unless MRR ports very quickly here, maybe with an invulnerability port in. I don't think that's even going to happen, though, for now. Dark Lady's just pounding away. Aluna's here. Actually, there's one port. There's 2 ports. So hold that thought. Silhouette jumping in. Keeping the Force as well. Keeping the Force. The root coming out. Oh, but that Shrunken Ever Dark Lady. Look at Silhouette starting to drop. A great skeleton hit right there. And down goes Silhouette. Q Squad looking very good now as Warbeast is forced to fall back down to half life already. Dark Lady, man, that Shrunken Head pickup proved to be huge. Oh, he tries, but a better counter initiation coming out. The airstrike going to miss right there on a Warbeast. He'll be fine for now. And Dark Lady going to be storm speed in the air as she will survive. Miraxis now. He's going to start taking a lot of damage. His Matrix, of course, on cooldown. Give it the Force. Not much more he can do with the root already on CD. And the tower goes down on top of it. So now Q Squad going to start breaking into the base here after that fight.
That was an unfortunate ult from Bombardier, but that's exactly. I mean, I'm going to nitpick here. Obviously, Q Squad did fantastic in that team fight and they came out on top, but nitpicking on if he does go Staff of the Master, it's like, it's kind of hard to hit a target, especially like Warbeast who has an ultimate and whatnot, but nonetheless, they're in a fantastic position. Might even get these racks as a result. And good job from Mala. His items are spot on. The Astrolabe Storm Spirit, he's doing a lot for his team, healing them up constantly. So good job by Mala. You can't count out the supports. In any game, really.
Oh, yeah, his ultimates have been huge. I mean, yeah, he really has been playing a fantastic Ophelia here. And we see the damage done. They take out the melee racks on top of everything else. So Q Squad already was in a very good spot going into that fight, and it just got a lot better. I mean 15.2 thousand gold all of a sudden.
Look at this. The top damage dealer in the game is also the hardest carry in the game. Dark Lady, 20% hero damage.
Yeah.
Kind of ridiculous.
Oh. That was a misclick right there. That wasn't supposed to happen. But yeah, that is pretty ridiculous as far as that goes. I'm kind of looking at the crowd out there. There's somebody. Oh, that guy. Yeah.
What's my name?
Shout out to WZA. Anyways, in the middle lane, Jonas fan will actually take out Dior's here in the middle. So snipes out a kill, and unfortunately for Glacius, he wrong place, wrong time type deal. There's that Staff of the Master though, finished by Bombardier. So might not be the hugest fan of it, but hey, he has it nonetheless. And also an Arcana picked up on top of that. So.
Oh, you missed the hasted Bubbles. I gotta say, Bubbles looks just so adorable, so adorable running with that haste. It's just a thing of beauty. It's just so cute. But anyway, yeah, Staff of the Master is picked up, but nonetheless, he's still going for a CC item after that. The Hellfire will be fine. But just one thing. That's a little nitpicky. I just don't think it's going to be that much of a deal breaker this game. It does make it a little bit more tanky, but if you want to be tanky and avoid spells and whatnot, why not just get a Shrunken Head? So,
yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. It's all good.
Whatever, man.
It's all whatever,
it's
man.
Like your opinion, man.
All right, dude.
Second Arcana picked up on Miraxis. Level 3 puzzle box has been finished on Warbeast. So You'll have those level 3 minions, and of course you look at the Hellborn side, it's not necessarily, they don't have to use it for an invisible hero like Fate or anything like that, but it still can be great for counter warding, and they're just powerful minions to have. I mean, from both the Wizard and the Mauler, they definitely bring quite a bit to the table. So Bubbles actually finishing I believe he just finished the Abyssal Skull right there, so not an item you usually see on a Bubbles, but hey, if you feel like wait, that means, okay, so Dark Lady is probably going to end up selling hers.
Double the fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works, right? No.
Yeah.
We'll probably see Dark Lady eventually sell hers to pick up a new item, and I guess if that's the case, maybe even something like a similar rage eventually. But
probably Crit. I think Crit just synergizes the best with Dark Lady, so probably going to see Crit on him, and could get rid of his TP skill beforehand. I think that's kind of an early pickup from Bubbles, but even if you have someone on your team that has Abyssal, I actually think it's still okay to have the Abyssal on your hero himself. Just because you're not necessarily going to always be around that hero, and maybe in the late stages of the game it's fine. But right now he doesn't really need to sell an item or get rid of it right now. So. Yeah. He still has two buyouts. He still has one full item he needs to buy on top of that. So there's still time.
Yeah.
I think Bubbles could have got something like a I think Bubbles with Initiation, obviously with a Portal Key, and then something like a Sheaf Tick is just perfect for Bubbles. So.
Not this time around.
That's not a big deal, though.
Going a little bit different, yeah. You look at the overall stats, still QsQ, a very good spot, 16.5 thousand gold lead, 11,000 plus experience lead.
Wow.
Dark Lady actually just going through the Legion jungle. She's been doing this all game, it seems like, from the Legion Ancients to the Legion jungle. Again, Nox just knows where to find farm. He himself is now up to 660 gold per minute. This no doubt has to already be it's probably going to be one of the better gold per minute performances in this event by far. So we do see Congor is now being attempted actually coming up from QsQ here. I don't know how much of a commitment they're going to put into this. It seems like they're putting quite a bit actually. You do see the Legion side though. MRR, they're aware something's up. I don't know if they're not going to get here in time though. It's going to go down too quickly.
Yeah, she actually goes for Demonic on Dark Lady. There's nothing wrong with a Demonic ever. So Demonic is fine. You have the gold for it? Hey, hell, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have the Token of Life. Now sells the Abyssal Skull, so now it's perfect.
Yeah, we do see more Axis kind of scouting around with the invisibility rune, but obviously not able to find anything really, and decided to fall back as soon as he saw that message pop up of Congor has been slain. Not something you want to see if you were the Legion team in this case. So Portal Key just purchased on Silhouette, so that's another initiation tool, more of an aggressive item that they can start using. Yeah. But I mean, her damage output is just not the greatest right now. It really, especially get rid of that Dark Lady. So you got to think that that's definitely going to hurt this Legion team. Well, when it comes down to that. Yeah, especially with all the armor now that Dark Lady has. 36.8. It's pretty ridiculous. You're not going to kill her. I think more so the fact that Silhouette went for Shrunken Head and Whispering Helm, and just you can't get any farm when you go for a Shrunken Head early like that. Believe me, I love Shrunken Head, but against a Dark Lady like this early, I don't know. Raxus jumping in right there. Not going to really commit too much, though. Arcane Shield even popped right there. Yeah. Maybe trying to expect to absorb something, but not going to happen. We have Warbase is going to charge, and the minions are out actually from the puzzle box. In jumps Dark Lady, though, as well as Bubbles, and Warbase just melts to the ground. Matrix activated from Moraxis. They don't even care about that, though. Airstrike in the background. I believe QsQ is on their way to taking the first game here against Team MRR with that push right there. I just don't see them coming back now. I mean, Warbase, he just, well, he got decimated. That was kind of an interesting ult by Bomb. Yeah. This is like, hi, my name is Dark Lady. Welcome to my world. I do, 400 damage. I slow you. I silence you. I attack faster now. And now I'm taunting you by running in circles outside your well. He's like, attack me. I don't care. That's pretty rude. That's pretty rude. I'm not going to lie. He's just totally... he's very aware that he is not going to be dying anytime soon. So that is going to do it for the first game between QsQ taking on MRR there. Of course, QsQ taking the first game. Obviously a 2-game series, but Team MRR, they had their positive. Hell, you look at their lineup. They did pick a very strong lineup when it came down to it. But in the end, QsQ definitely played a little bit better, and I think Nox especially on that Dark Lady, man. Always dangerous. Another 688 gold per minute performance from him. It's pretty ridiculous. I mean, they both had fantastic lineups. I mean, having Ophelia, being able to actually draft Ophelia. They did have Glacius, though, on top of that. Or MRR did, that is. But
I honestly think that MRR had the better lineup. I really do, but I just think they got a little bit outplayed by QsQ.
Yeah, the picking stage is one phase of the game, of course. Not to say the obvious or anything. It's just one stage of the game. That's how you also play it, obviously, on top of that. And in the end, Q Squad, I mean, I agree with you, of course. I think the MRR's lineup maybe even a little bit stronger, but Q Squad just played it better.
Yep.
And they deserve to take the first game. So, of course, as always, we're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned, guys. We'll stay here in the stands as well as you at home tuning in. We appreciate you for tuning in to Honcast.com. So for myself, Break CBK, Tralfmador, we're here at DreamHack Winter 2012, baby. It's been a lot of fun so far. We still got plenty more to come. Game number 2, Q Squad taking on MRR. Stay tuned.